Greetings, Jedi traders. David here of TradingFibs.com to bring you the daily trend for week 13, day 1. It is March 27, 2017. As always, please seek financial advisement when trading with your money, as these videos are for educational purposes only, to support your knowledge in the market. See what's going through my head on any given day. Always make sure you have a solid trading plan and always manage your stop when placing a trade. All right, Jedi traders, we begin the week, last week of the month, March 2017. Getting off to a slow start as far as economics perspective, but it was the Globex open there, gapping down on Sunday. On all three indices, as market action drove down overnight. And there's your bias in your head. You wake up this morning, you're ready to short the market, and maybe you get a little piece of it. And all of a sudden, we got ourselves a turnaround Monday. Thus, the down arrow and up arrow for today. So there we go. Let's jump right in as we do each day. Start with the pre-market trend. See where markets were this morning in using the MML charts, Murray math levels for key levels in both directions. The probabilities of both directions here. All right, let's jump in as the VIX was holding up at 1453 here this morning. VIX actually closing out today lower. Taking a look at the screen share here this morning, we could see after the Globex rundown, that's not exactly where the market turned itself around. Typically, we like to see the top three in contrast to the bottom three. Price action on the GC, 6J, and the 6E all holding upside, as the NQ, YM, and ES all finding support around their weekly VWAPs as we got the week going here. ES and YM were already on the move down. NQ just holding steady until the U.S. market opened up. Excuse me. Taking a look at the NQ, as the NQ NASDAQ futures upside, we're looking at 53, 51, 71, and 53.90. Coming up to a high today around 53.80. I don't have my exact number. There we go. 53.8575, and finding a low down here around the lows around 53.18. Not bad on the MML levels. There's your levels downside 53.17 and all the way up in between the 71 and the 90. Posted 15 minutes prior to the market open. There was the NQ upside. We were looking at MML levels 53, 51, 53, 71, all the way up to 53.90. Major support resistance here on the 60-minute chart. NQ Globex market profile was 100% net short, as the 600-day VPOC sitting before. Nice balanced profile. So 600-day VPOC sitting upside with the open gap and the POC from last session. But remember, overnight already downside from the gap. So there's your gap down, and NQ sitting 100% net short. All right, taking a look at the ES price action with its nearest open gaps. Still to the downside. ES 23.28. Looking upside all the way up to 23.51. And we came close to the 23.43 here today. ES on the downside after the initial move, came down to about 23.17. So a little bit shy of the 23.12. Levels are levels at the end of the day. Anyway, let's take a look at the ES pre-market. MML levels prior, we were again holding downside on the 60-minute 4-hour. So the momentum definitely had the probability of continuing the lift upside to at least 23.43 again. That's exactly where we came, just shy of that. But before that, turning back downside to around 23.12 was the thought that might drive the market down, as ES Globex TPO was 100% net short with the daily gap and the VPOC upside. All right, so there's that was our pre-market analysis. Oh, and also each morning there was your pre-market analysis by Shadow Trader. 2300, obviously the floor here on the SPX might have been a level to watch, but again, watching the prior market low there on Friday session would have been a level to watch as well. All right, so how do we do today overall? Session highlights, there it was, gapping down on Sunday, turnaround Monday. That AM session, choppy it was, best to get on that higher time frame as the VIX closed out here. There's your econ highlights and news for today, as the charts clearly indicated a Globex turnaround today on the U.S. session, with the NQ only closing out the upside daily gap. All right, so it was the ES from the get-go to the downside yesterday on Sunday's open, under the 51.44, under the weekly VWAP. And in contrast, there's your GC Globex. That's your Sunday night move there. Solid hike at Ashibar, sitting upside above the VWAP and above the cloud. Your ES sitting Globex MML. There's your gap down. Price action migrating to the downside on the MML charts. That's our 15-minute chart there. All right, so once market got going here, this morning it was the NQ after a dip down. We're on a 15-tick chart. First whip down, NQ, the ES and the YM were already on the move. NQ chasing. Finally got a lift up here, weekly VWAP. Try turnaround again. Two solid setups here to the downside. Again, he had a much better opportunity to watch the higher time frame and remain out of the chop. We'll go ahead and show you what the price action may have looked like on the smaller time frame. But once the turnaround on the 15-tick chart above the cloud, off the MML lows, 53.32, and the AD line off the outlier, she never looked back. Rough ride up. In hindsight, looked great. Candles were all green, sitting above the 51.44, but by trade management alone, long whip tails here. Sometimes I can't figure it out what those whip tails are achieving, but obviously ticks are ticks in the market. They're not interested in the trend. They're interested in taking out the stops, which is exactly what each of these are. So you got to change your trade management for today, or just hope that one of these will be your runner to get your stop to break even and hopefully get it away. All right, so that's post 75 minutes and continuing upside on the MMLs here to the upside. All right, so European close here. Price action holds to the upside. Right there, all three indices rolling up. I apologize on the previous chart. I wanted to show this here as by the MML levels, 53.32, you got your close above here. Again, an entry at 53.32 would have done you well all the way up to major support resistance. Breaking above here, 53.32, the major support resistance here. Support down here. Again, two different time frames here. 15-minute on the right, range chart on the left, 15-tick chart. Each a level of concern to watch for support, as once price action broke above the cloud and above the support, gave you the probability that price action was a run upside. The only encounter we had, like I said before, were these long wicks. So by trade management alone, those might have taken you out of the setup today. Not fun. All right, so how do we finish up? NQ full session. Actually, let's after the European close, that was the NQ to the upside highlight chart here, as eventually the NQ ran from the lows of support all the way up to the MML high, which happened to be around the monthly VWAP. All right, so NQ full session. Here we go, opening up 53.30 for the week, closing out up here 78.75. Higher time frame. Nice move to the upside and afternoon chop. Similar picture on the YM going to the higher time frame here today on the 15-tick chart. Little move down here. Opportunity to re-enter after the pullback, stopping out in trade management, holding. Yep, after the Globex gap down, that's where you think we're going. Well, that's not exactly where the market was headed today. So price action breaks upside, pull back to the open. There was your solid move to the upside, all in the green. YM fared a little bit better there than the NQ on the tails. And ES closing itself out. Got a lot of chop here, early get-go. Didn't really get something going here on the ES as far as trend until right here around post, maybe, what is that, 30 minutes here on a 6-3 Flex Renko. And then afternoon, try to get a little move back upside, but only up here to finish around the cloud, the close 23.38, which lined up around the Globex high for today. All right, so NQ finishing out on the market profile here upside up to the POC, 600-day VPOC, and closing out around the daily gap. As we said, NQ to close out the daily gap, and ES not being able to do so. A little bit of poor structure on the market profile. We'll go ahead and take a look at the value profile. But again, the low of the session here on the Globex low. All right, so daily gaps, we open up here, 53.30.75. We close upside, all three markets. Daily gaps down below. We closed out those gap downs, but ES and YM unsuccessful in closing yesterday's gap. All-time highs sitting up here on the turquoise lines. AD lines, nice move here today. Again, finding the outlier here on the NQ all the way down to 100, and bang, pop to the upside. Pivot held the line for today as the NQ rolled up. YM a little bit smoother on the move on the range charts as ES gained some footing here as well, close to the outliers. And ISS nicely holding to 1350 today. All right, take a look at the screen share. I want to go ahead and quickly show you that chart there. Similar price action as we had on the 15-tick chart. When you take a look at the 10-tick range chart, get a lot more noise on that. There's your price action again this morning. Whip right down, solid body, tails down. There's your gap down from Sunday. And price action takes a dive here on the open. That's your Globex. I apologize. There it is. Right here on the open, price action to the downside, but never looked back on the Globex low. But here you can see, especially on the 10-tick range chart, let's just go ahead and widen that a little bit. That's why in comparison, when you put the 15-tick chart up next, you see, let me go ahead and pull up that 15. There's that 15-tick chart. You don't see all the noise. Yes, you see the tails. And here you see the pullbacks here. Again, trade management alone, you get something going, bring that stop to break even, these stops took you out. However, if you had the portfolio or the ability to keep one of those stops a little bit further back to get one of these moving, you would have done okay by that point. Swing size low, higher, 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 until perhaps here taken out, and a re-entry probability here on the 10-7 all the way to the upside here today. So similar picture all the way around on the higher time frames. Crude after a drop down overnight finds a little bit of footing here as the crude goes all green towards the latter part of the session, but just wasn't able to get anywhere. When you don't have volume, sometimes dropping down. Let me show you. If you got if you have a 10-7, sometimes dropping down to the 6-3 or perhaps to the 5-4 offers you more opportunity on the setups. Again, you got to be aware of false setups as now you have more bars per price action. All right, GC again, we said same picture on the GC as the indices had rolled down. GC was rolling up overnight and then pulled back. Not much price action there on the GC in the U.S. regular trading hours. 6J, again, nice move to the upside there overnight. Globex seems very similar picture here as the NQ. Again, it's all about trying to get something going here. Might as well jump on the higher time frame. Just keep that stop a little bit farther back, especially if you have some ticks already in the bank. It's okay to keep that stop further back in hopes that it will continue to run. But hey, what saves you today will give you a nice long runner tomorrow. All right, there it is. 6E gapping up overnight. There it is to the upside. Regular trading hours. Didn't go very far here till the afternoon session when 6E pulled back as the indices went upside. All right, so where are we headed for tomorrow? What's the big outlook here? Taking a look at the MML charts. Appreciate the NQ here running from the lows of the MMLs up to the highs. All right, so anything pullback, we'll look back down to 53.51 all the way down to 53.32, as here on the 4-hour chart and the 60-minute chart appears the 4-hour chart has had a reset of itself here as price action now off the lows here. As our pre-market picture, if I'm correct, there it was, we were holding upside resistance 53.90, which was resistance is going to be a little bit higher now. All right, so we've had a reset here on the 4-hour. Regardless, anything to the upside at this point, we'll be looking at 54.29. And a run up like today, I'd most likely see the Globex probably run together with it. Anything back to the downside, watch for the retrace back to at least the major support resistance, if not 53.71 to start. Take a look at the YM, 16-minute, 15-minute, and the 4-hour. Upside, look to 547. Look back downside to 469. Lose any footing. Look back down to 391. Again, watch those bigger time frames a little bit. 625 would be the bigger picture perhaps tomorrow, but we'll reassess that tomorrow as the market opens and see where we went in the Globex session. And again, take a look at the ES. Price action on the ES sitting in between as the momentum from the downside, most likely probability is to get up here. 43.75. Any pullback, watch 36 all the way down to 28.25. Ring the bell 43.75. That would hit major support resistance on the higher time frames as well as the upside here all the way up to the overbought. On the technical momentum outlook for the weekend, remember we talked about the 50-period moving average and the 10-period, seeing if we regain that footing back upside to continue the trend. But we need to get above that, and it will obviously take a couple days this week or maybe just one session. Super Tuesday always seems like a nice day to get a trend upside. Hey guys, one of the charts we played around with today, let me go ahead post that up here. Taking the MML chart on a 15-minute chart here. Here's today's price action. Making a little modification, putting the 51.44. That's from a 1-minute chart on a 15-minute. So if you're not a range chart trader, but you like the 15 minutes, seems like a nice combination here of using all the charts that we look at in just a different way. So there you go. You got the entry or the setup off the lows of the support, whether you take it off 53.32 or you wait for the breakout above the cloud. You got the HA bars here sitting above a T3 moving average, or replace any moving average for that matter. Price action lifts up, stays above the cloud, major support resistance, one contract off. Give yourself the opportunity to run itself up here. Once you get up here, it's all about management of your trade, of where you keep your stop. But again, here you can see we're pretty much just chopped at the high. So again, something if you're interested, take the 15-minute chart, apply the MML 51.44 overlay, nice move, and throw in some HA bars just to indicate, at least here you see the close above the cloud. The HA bar will let you know that you are in trend. So nice combination of charts, side, or at least one upside, not side by side, but one up here and one to the downside. All right, went beyond my norm here, so let's quickly wrap this up here as price action leading into tomorrow. Economic calendar. Again, Red Star events this week. Keep them open. GDP, Brexit. We got some global numbers as well, but we got a couple Red Star events. Green Star on the S&P, CoreLogic, Case-Shiller, consumer confidence, so enough to maybe move the market, and then Federal Reserve speakers all around. All right, that concludes an insight into the daily trend and technical momentum of the indices and key futures markets as I see them. Feel free to stop by at tradingfibs.com or any of my social media outlets to obtain more information. My mantra of one simple strategy: any market, any chart, any time frame will keep you disciplined. You can find me every day on Twitter at tradingfibs. And as always, I leave the crystal ball to the experts. I only watch what's in front of me and on my charts. And as always, leave your bias at the door when trading. Hey, for those of you that are interested in joining us in our community of like-minded traders seeking those highest probability setups, feel free to email me, david@tradingfibs.com. You may join us any Thursday or Friday to view the live chart setups as they happen at the trading day. Hey guys, make sure you check out the links after the video is done here, both to subscribe to the channel, and please make sure you check out the Technical Momentum Outlook for Week 13 with its video and quick analysis, and the Week 12 recap, quick recap of last week's price action and how it might play out this week. Always make sure you check out the pre-market trend 15 minutes prior to each day's open. Hey guys, hey, have yourself a Blue Zone day wherever you may be. Good day, good night, and good trading to you.